Ladies and gentlemen, after that fireside chat, we are now moving forward to another round of interesting panel discussion. This is going to be on the subject of branded content and kids entertainment win-win formula. I'll repeat the topic for the conversation once again. This is about branded content and kids entertainment, a win-win formula. What I'm going to do right now is the usual. I'm going to be announcing our honorable moderator, and then I'll be announcing our honorable speakers, and then I'll be requesting all of them to come together. Ladies and gentlemen, to moderate this session, we have with us right now Soumini Sridhara Paul, Senior Vice President, Hungama Digital Media Entertainment Private Limited. Give it up for her, please, once again. Very kind of her to moderate the second session for the day. So thank you so much for being with us throughout. She moderated another session in the morning prior to lunch, and now we're looking forward to this one. Thank you. I hope ma'am's chair is ready. Yes, we have 7 people, so it's going to be quite a task to fit all of them, but I'm sure they'll do a nice job. All right, so that's Soumini ma'am for us, and now I'll be calling up on stage our honorable speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us today Saumitra Prasad, Chief Marketing Officer, DOMS Industries Limited. It's called DOMS only, right? DOMS. We also have with us today Preeti Vyas, President and CEO, Amar Chitra Katha Private Limited. We also have with us today Sanjeev Dubey, founder, ExtraChildhood. I'd like to call upon stage Dr. Rajeev Rastogi, founder and managing director, White Apple. I'll request Tanuja Gomes, co-founder and co-CEO, Furtados, or I believe it's Furtados School of Music on stage. Yes, Furtados. The students put up a really nice performance before. I think kudos. And also Neha Madhani, category head, Piramal Consumer Healthcare. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a 7-member panel for the first time over here today. Zor se everybody, Tali, give it up for this very engaging session that's set to unfold right now. This is about branded content and kids entertainment, how we can make it a win-win formula. And over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. So to start with, I requested Siddharth to give us a little more time. So I'm hoping we'll have, okay, it should be 45 minutes, but it's counting down from 40. I'll try and be quick. Okay, so since all of your names have been introduced, I'd request you to take the mic and just speak briefly on what each one of you do in your space. I just want to give the, set the, the agenda for today's session. We want to really speak about how is each one on the panel doing their bit, to not just create content or engage with kids, but what are they doing to create something which will have a long-term positive impact on the kids. So that's the plan of action. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Saumitra Prasad. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of DOMS. DOMS is the brand for children. We make art and stationery products, and I would say that, yes, we are quite popular amongst the children, and that's a great thing to be in the space of children, and it's good to be here in the most amazing place for children, which is KidZania. So I'm looking forward to a very exciting, inspiring discussion with the panelists. Thank you.
Sure. Neha?
Hello. Hi everyone, very excited to be here as a part of the panel here. I am currently working as a category head at Piramal Consumer Product Limited and heading a brand called Littles, which is a kids personal care brand. Earlier, I have also worked in some more interesting brands like Jolly Rancher Lollipops, confectionery portfolio, Hershey's Milkshake, which is basically targeted to kids. So yeah, very excited, thanks.
Yeah, hi, Rajeev.
Hello, my name is Rajeev Rastogi. I'm a founder and a managing director to a company called White Apple. White Apple specializes into visual effects, animation, and the AI content creation. A lot of talks going around in the town with the content with AI. So I'm excited, looking forward with the fellow panelists, and thank you.
Yeah, please, Tanuja.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tanuja Gomes. Little while ago, you saw the magic of our students who've been learning with us. My background is I've done both the right brain and the left brain learnings, which means I'm a banker. I did about 12, 13 years of banking. and then founded FSM in 2011. So in that sense, now completely into creative arts. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Preeti and I'm the president and CEO of Amar Katha. I think most of us in the audience would have read an Amar Katha comic or a Tinkle magazine in their childhood. The company is now 58 years old and we are still very happy to be connecting with today's generation of children with new comics under both imprints.
Hi, good evening all. My name is Sanjeev. I am founder of ExtraChildhood.org, a school media platform which is primarily working with government schools and Anganwadi Kendra of Madhya Pradesh. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I'll start with you, actually, Saumitra. When we were talking, you mentioned that you've got 3 million subscribers on your YouTube channel. I'm thinking you're a stationery brand. What kind of content do you put up on YouTube?
At DOMS, we try to live up to our brand promise, which is every ambition needs preparation. And we try to communicate that in everything we do, from our exciting range of products and the content we make. We co-create a lot of content with mom and kids. And yes, the fact that a lot of children are watching our content to this tune that we have now 3 million subscribers on our YouTube channel is a testament to the fact that the content is being liked and more importantly being trusted by parents, because as a responsible marketer, we believe in, especially in today's age when children are investing a lot of time on digital media, and digital media is full of a lot of responsible as well irresponsible content. We are communicating good things, especially connected with our brand purpose and brand philosophy. And whatever we are doing, we are trying to aid the children in their ambition. And that's why we are getting the love of children and parents both. And I think that's what is helping grow a big community of children.
That's great, that's great. Neha, you've dealt with brands and certain brands that have also had limitations in terms of advertising to kids directly. Since this topic is about branded content as one of the areas, how have you dealt with that?
So it's a very interesting question because I think every brand who is supposed to talk to kids is facing this challenge, right? While international norms have been much more stronger, stricter and challenging, but the same is now being adapted by Indians also, by Indian bodies also. And hence it becomes very crucial for us to understand how we can connect and talk to the child in the right way and ensure that the message is decoded in the right way, right? So while I was handling a confectionery brand earlier, we realized that normal celebrities or normal heroes or normal cricketers do not really influence kids, right? Because for them, they are heroes. Their heroes are animated characters. Their heroes are cartoon characters like a Tom or a Jerry or any other cartoon show that comes in, right? And hence we said that let's integrate with them. So we went ahead and integrated with a show called Little Singham. And he said that when that cartoon character has my product, is consuming my product, my consumer, the child who's watching it, will surely want to buy it and want to consume it. And we realized that we could grow big time, right? In less than a year, we went up to 1.5 times the sales and we garnered a third position in terms of market share.
So you're actually saying you were able to see that conversion because of the integration you did?
Yes, yes. In fact, we also ensured that we are getting into influencer activation and also roping in digital. While digital content, we used to earlier, maybe 5 years back, we used to feel whether kids are really exposed to that or not. But yes, big time, kids are watching it, kids are living it every day. And hence, we also got into gaming content. We got into gamification. Right? And we ensured how we can integrate our product, not only in terms of an ad spot, but also how we can integrate in the game itself, so that the brand love keeps increasing and the consumer stays loyal to the brand.
I guess in some way, the two of you could have worked together.
Yes, I think we should.
Rajeev, animation and VFX, it's like the buzzword right now. So you're in the right place, building a business. What role do you feel you play when it comes to kids' life?
I feel, to be very honest, I feel that there is a huge gap right now in terms of a fresh content for kids. There's a lot, I would say that the Indian market is a scary bit on playing on the animation content. A lot of film producers earlier have tried their hands on the animation films, but it didn't really work out. To be giving some classic example is Delhi Safari, Toon Poon Ka Superhero and all that films. But
And why do you think that hasn't worked?
I think earlier, the cost of production of the animation films versus the revenue was not the way the exhibitors, the producers would have deemed for or thought for. But today, I think the perspectives have changed, the market has changed, it has evolved. And with the newer technologies, there is a bigger role to play. And there is with the gap that is there in the market, I think we have a very important role to play for everybody over here.
And is your business creating IPs and productions, or are you just providing service?
So we are into right now only the service model. But with the AI model, right now we are creating a lot of IPs. One of them is a full feature film that we are trying to produce
Through AI?
through AI, complete 2 hours.
I think you will have more concerns now, right? Okay, because he's a voiceover artist.
Oh, lovely.
And yeah, he was talking about how AI seems to be replacing voiceover artists as well.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there are a lot of challenges that we are exploring because everybody of us have seen a lot of clips circulating on YouTube and Instagrams, but it's not a longer video. Nobody is able to right now generate a 2-hour long feature film that's ready for a theatrical business. So we are trying and experimenting. It's still a long way to go, but I think over the period of time, AI will also evolve, and that's where we are trying to blend with the animation VFX AI together.
So I just have an extended question to this. Do you think kids today will be able to adopt to using your kind of services, or you could possibly engage with kids to get them to create content with AI and stuff? Or will they just be passive viewers?
I think so. It will be a passive user more than a consumers as coming from AI perspective, because AI, first of all, it's yet to be exposed to a level where kids have that reach, and the content, like I've been saying, that the fresh content is required to inspire them to look at the content the way they want to do this. So, of course, now the producers, the exhibitors can look at it because the cost of production is really low. And it has a fresh piece of, I would say, the quality angle to it. You have never seen that kind of a quality is what AI can produce now.
Scary. Tanuja, I think you must have a lot of respect, because music and children is something that every parent, wants their child to be doing. And how have you looked at positioning Furtados when it comes to the long-term goal for a child?
So in a way, we are trying to get kids away from all the animation and all the screen times. I think the true, post-COVID, we've seen a lot of that the true essence and the true fun is being with people. Therefore, performing arts plays a very, very important role. I'm sure many of you all have some bucket list that I want to pick up drums, guitar, and that thrill and that passion that you get when you're on the stage. That makes a huge difference, starting with the kid across different genre and ages. What we do is, one, we are adding the entire performing arts. So we've always been known with music, but we are bringing the whole magic of dance and drama on the stages. We also reach out to the place where children are learning. So our biggest model is where we partner with K-12 schools, and Furtados sets up an entire lab and a learning experience. So like that, we have about 250 to 300 schools, and we are teaching about 100,000 kids weekly. So the beauty is that these kids are not in front of the screens. They are coming and they are making music and playing music. So I think that's what gives us a smile, and they go home with that.
I think you can never get too addicted to learning, right? And music is a big part.
Absolutely.
Preeti, you, I'm sure, must be envied for running such a, a legacy, a comic brand. And like we were talking earlier, you've had different form factors in which Amar, Chitra, Katha and Tinkle has been represented. And you also spoke about the fact that when it's tinkle, the parent knows, acha, ye galat nahi hoga. But I didn't get to ask you this question when we were talking, but you mentioned about how as life evolves, as children get exposed to a lot of today's things like mental depression and, gender and all of that, how are you able to still manage the sanctity of what tinkle is from the parents' perspective, teaching them these new things?
So, thank you for the question. Tinkle, whatever research we have done, consumer research, the one line that comes up is always that Tinkle is a child's friend. The child sees Tinkle as a best friend or someone they can trust. Luckily for us, the parents have also grown up reading Tinkle, so that level of the connection of trust is very, very strong. So the parent does not have any reservation in the child reading a Tinkle. I mean, you'll just leave the magazine and leave the room, there's no problem at all. Just like Saumitra was saying, when you're in the children's space, there is some responsibility you carry. Yeah. And, we have this vehicle, we have the trust of the parent and the interest of the child because the format itself is comics, which is inherently really appealing to children. It's fun, it's colorful, it's not boring. So we have very consciously been taking on a lot of issues which children are facing, which children don't know whom to ask. Like I was talking to you about depression among children. It is a real problem. And even parents often don't know how to talk about it with their kids. The school is not giving you much of an idea. So when the character inside the magazine in the story is very casually talking about it or encountering it and there is a solution being given, the child understands. So it's a very nice way to tackle a lot of serious issues. And the editorial team is very, very adept at doing it. They've got so many years of experience in understanding the world of the child.
Yeah, I think to a certain extent it was like how Asidji was saying earlier that when you run a show for 17 years, you are responsible to make sure that, you keep the sanctity of it.
And the joke is that so Tinkle is now 45 years old because it was released in 1980. So nobody has died in Tinkle so far.
Thank God.
People fall down, there's stars over their head, those kind of things happen, but there's been no
yeah, they did that for Archie's, I think. Which was ridiculous.
Nobody dies.
Sanjeev, you are possibly another one to be highly envied because doing anything with the government is not an easy task. And you're doing something really, really promising with government schools and Anganwadi. And I was enamored by the the kind of numbers you were talking about. How's the journey been? Just, if you could give a little brief.
So, before starting ExtraChildhood, I had a very big exposure through my earlier venture of Chotu Painter, where I used to work with almost all the children brand in India, especially in the retail space. So after seeing the city children moving to Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh to the core, and we are talking about 1 lakh government school, we are talking about 1 lakh Anganwadi. And I was so surprised because our venture was getting incubated by IIM Bangalore. I was so surprised that the community which we were talking about, at city we think that content delivery mechanism is there, it's just that we have to provide them content. But I realized that 70% of the government school children doesn't have access to smartphone. It's quite surprising. And second thing is their way of consuming content itself is very, very different. So unless the city brands are not able to relate to it, so that's the one thing which I record. The other aspect which I explored is, especially in a 2-tier, 3-tier, because children have more freedom in city, right? Their choices are given a priority. But not in tier 2, tier 3, if some of us come from that background, parents still have saying, ye nahi, ye chalega, wo nahi, wo chalega. In that perspective, what I've realized is that uncle, auntie, principal, teacher, anybody who's visiting the home, everybody is just telling the child as if the child is just born with ear. And he's just born to consume the content, and we don't care what you have to say. So that's the necessity we felt, and that's why 3 years back, we created this unique school media platform, where government school have their own radio, TV, newspaper, magazine, an expression platform where children decide what they want, what they have to say, and what we realize when they are heard, their expectation of consumption, because once they connect to the city and other places, then they are finding more relatability.
And they're more involved and more responsible,
Absolutely,
possibly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that goes with any human psychology.
Yeah.
If somebody is hurt, then they will be ready to hear you.
I think you need to apply this to our metro schools also. But, another point that we were discussing earlier was we are in a time today where the industry has been really, there's so much happening, and yet there are a lot of companies and businesses just struggling to keep their balance sheets in place, their P&Ls in place. How do you, especially when you're dealing with the kids genre, where you have to show responsibility, how do you, and I'll start with you, Saumitra, how do you ensure that P&L is not the focus and long-term impact is the focus?
Absolutely. I think while P&L is important for every organization, but I think what is far more important is the purpose, the philosophy of the company for its consumers. And if that's in place, revenues follow. And DOMS is another great example. It's one of the youngest stationery brands and yet the largest brand today with the growth it has achieved, and which is largely because we're not looking at pushing products. Sorry, can you hear me? Yeah. So we are not just pushing our products, but we strongly believe in our brand purpose of when we say every ambition needs preparation. We are inspiring our consumers towards their ambition, aiding them, and in whatever actions we do. One of the examples of being here in KidZania, having a DOMS painting studio, is not just to sell our products. It's actually for consumers to engage in art, which is a very important tool, not just to become an artist, but to boost creativity. And we believe that if we are able to do something to the life of our consumers, we will be a brand which both parents and children will prefer over a long time. And it's a long-term perspective that we believe in, and that's what is helping a brand to grow. Because we believe that, if we are able to do that, we are able to earn the trust of our parents and children, revenues will follow, and that's exactly what is happening.
That's great. Neha, you worked with some big MNC brands. Do you have the flexibility to think like this? That P&L will come later. First, long-term impact is the focus.
So I think for any marketer, it's a balancing act that every person has to play, right? To your first piece on profitability, I think I'll break it into two parts. Obviously, inflation increases and hence your profitability becomes challenging. Now, either you increase the price, that is MRP, which affects your consumer, or else you cut down on your costs, right? Internal costs. When you increase your price, there is some, I don't get the word, maybe there's some compromise that you're doing with your consumer because you're going heavy on their pocket, right? So that's the last thing as a marketer that I would like to do. And hence, we always look backwards and see how we can cut down on cost to ensure that profitability is still maintained, because that is very, very important for business, whether it is any department or any person, but we are not impacting on the consumer. So hence, without change in the end result, that is in the product or packaging, we ensure that we try cutting down on cost and keep the consumer happy. When you talk about long-term impact, I think for any brand, creating brand love is a journey. Right? It doesn't happen overnight. You pick up any brand leader from any industry or any category, right? And to do that, the brand has to ensure that the messaging is consistent and constant. Because if the brand keeps changing stands, then he or the brand will never be able to connect with the consumer. And hence, then you might not even be in the top of mind of the consumer. And hence, to do that, you have to ensure that in different ways, in different narrations, and in different stories, your theme or your messaging is still the same and constant. So I think long-term impact, when you talk about building a brand equity for anything, is very important. While profitability always plays a role, but there are other ways to handle profitability and not compromise on your long-term impact.
Sure, that's great. Rajeev, you're aware that the government, especially in Maharashtra right now, is trying to, set policies for FGCXR. How much do you believe it's going to really create, an impact in your offerings or even in terms of the ecosystem? and keeping the kids in mind, because right now a lot of it is focused from a gaming perspective. But here again, we know that once the kid touches a game, nothing else is in front of him. So do you feel the AVGCXR policy is going to think of kids in that sense and set the policies?
I think I've been into various associations right now, being the member of it actively. A lot of discussions every time comes up is that what is government offering? And this is the first time that government has taken an initiative to offer various things. It's not just the subsidy, but it's also the push on the content. There are a lot of competitions on a national level that people are being invited to do that. So it's one, that government is inviting the talent. Second, basis on the policies that the government is framing, so a lot of industry veterans have got involved in framing that policies. So definitely from a perspective where you get a benefit out of it, there is a lot that government is insisting, and in the years to come, I think there will be a rise in the content that you will be seeing. And like I've been saying, that that the gap has been identified by all of us already, that there's no fresh content. In the years to come, I am very hopeful that the kids will have a broader role to play in terms of devising the content that what India wants to produce. I think that's the
You're
game
saying
changer.
that just like Sanjeev has got the students to make the content themselves, you think kids are going to play a role in actually telling people what they want to see?
I think so. See, the real audience is the kids only. They are the consumers and they are the content makers. If you really take from them only that what they want to do, I think it's widely spread already. You are successful in doing the business.
And
You
we're
don't.
talking about anyway, from a 1.4 billion, there's a big number to.
Yeah, so then you don't have to think from a business economics that whether the revenues will work or not, whether the business model will work or not, because you're directly hitting the kids only, the consumer itself. So if that segment is being tackled, that what the demands are, what the need is, and if the content creators are understanding, I think the gap is filled.
Right. No, definitely. So, Tanuja, in your context, you know, when you're working with students on the music, and now that you're introducing dance and drama as well, I mean, we all know the impact of art on, you know, people's personality and how it helps them, even if they don't pursue it as a career. How much as a school do you instill that thinking, that even if this is your hobby, you know, let it be like a consistent part of your life? So what are the steps you take for that?
Okay. So we have invested a lot of time in building the right pedagogy. The biggest transformation that we are very proud about bringing in our country is that there is a completely organized curriculum which is now introduced at every level. Even a nursery child will learn music in a curriculum manner. So I think that's one of the biggest change. So all these kids who learn, they learn theory of music. They learn different concepts of music. So, you know, dynamics, rhythm, all these are very basic concepts. We all know about it, but you know, we've never really understood how does it work, what is beats, you know, stuff like that. So we have built curriculum, partnered with the best. So whether it's a partnership with Trinity, whether getting our own curriculum approved by government bodies, so that, you know, for next few generations, this curriculum validity is there. And another most important pillar is performance. We really strive on performance. So like we constantly find opportunities for our kids to perform. In fact, we've just launched something called as an artist club. So we are telling them we will give you one performance. Kids have performed at NCPA, Prithvi's and such kind of platforms. And that's where we feel that it will really motivate, give them that confidence.
Yeah, so obviously there is a long-term goal there,
Yes.
right? Preeti, how do you see Tinkle really, you know, in the next, say, 5 to 10 years? I mean, today, if a 6 or 7-year-old or even an 8-year-old is reading it, how does he, you know, still feel connected with it when he's 17, 18? Is that even your target? And if it is, then from a content perspective, how do you ensure that?
Yeah, so from an intent perspective, when we create our comics, Saumitra Katha and Tinkle are a 7 to 12, 7 to 14 kind of audience. From a design perspective, that's the intent, a simplicity of language or the kind of themes, the kind of art. But the consumption we see is 8 to 80. So what we see is that in the case of Tinkle, we have a lot of young adults who have grown up on Tinkle, who have that great nostalgia factor, so they want to go back to reading Supandi stories or go back to reading Tantri stories, or we see now the second generation, so people who have grown up on Wingstar or the DDs, they want to go back and read those. That connection, that bond is very strong because everybody has good memories of childhood. So when you want to de-stress from work or whatever stress you're having, it's a great place to be. In the case of Amachitra Katha, because the stories are very timeless in nature, right? So they continue to resonate, and the beauty of the mythology, Hindu mythology, is that it's an endless universe. You'll never run out of stories. We've just published, a book on celestial beings. We did Lakshmi last year. So those have a very universal appeal across age groups, and we keep coming out with new ones. Right. But of course, the art style, the narrative style has evolved with the times.
Understood. Sanjeev, how do you see the government schools and Anganwadi really evolve? And now, like you said, you're actually trying to bring in a lot of technology and resources that can help them be literally on par with metro kids or tier 2 like mainstream kids, even if they don't have smartphones with them. So what's in the pipeline?
So thank you for bringing this question. This is bringing a lot of memory in my mind. So 3 years back, we wanted government school to produce their own magazine, school magazine, and they don't have access to computer, and nobody is there to type. Now, how would you make a child to produce a magazine? And we wanted to produce one magazine every month for every district of Madhya Pradesh. So 50 magazine coming every month, and each magazine consists of around 20-25 pages. So when we inspected, there were a lot of interesting things which came. So we went to handwritten magazines. We said, koi bhi paper mile, kharab, acha, jaisa bhi hai, the teacher can capture the photo, that's enough. You send it to us. When it reached to our studio, we compiled it into a beautiful magazine and send it back. 2-3 interesting things we realized why children are not writing. And why then writing is not taken as a regular hobby. So it's a very funny incident, I would say. So if any uncle come to my house, my daddy will say, Sanjeev, can you dance Ek Pal Ka Jeena? I'll come and do something like this. Everybody will be, wow, right? Bahut acha, bahut acha. And if my daddy will say, ki beta, apple ka spelling sunao. And if I say A-L-L-P, uncle ka move will be like this much, right? So the way we treat writing and reading compared to the other hobbies has actually, child have realized that every time I write, there is no possibility that it can get away from red pen marking or any kind of audit. Teachers were just not ready to accept. So what we did is, we gave priority to the creative writing. We said, they have whole life to correct themselves. Nobody can claim they are perfect. There are so many spelling mistakes we also do today. So we said, there won't be any evaluation whatsoever. And when we have taken off that filter, and we just focus, you won't believe we have produced around 60,000 pages, handwritten pages till now. So that's...
Wow, that's so special.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing.
So that's how you have to innovate. You know that they are not so well connected. So like, you won't believe our radio programs are like voice note. We cannot record live, so they have this small Nokia phone which has voice note. They record. Somehow they send it to teacher through Bluetooth and other technique, whatever they have in there, and it reaches to us, we compile it in. So what we realize is children should not be exposed to the technical part of it. That's where their screen time will also reduce. What we need is their creative involvement. That will only come when we give them freedom. So that's one thing which we have tried and it has worked well.
Another question that I wanted to quickly ask each one of you is, if you had any example, like a special example of any branded content that you have created that really worked and maybe can be an example for our audience here, something that comes up in your mind. start with you, Saumitra.
Okay, so we recently started an initiative called DOMS Art League, which is an online art competition. And we are promoting this with the objective that art is important for everyone, for every child, not to just become an artist, but actually it's boosting creativity and it's helping in the overall development. And unlike many other art competitions by other brands, we don't make it mandatory at all to buy DOMS products to participate. Children need not buy DOMS at all, and they can buy any product and participate. And we try to promote that. And this property is really encouraging children to develop love for art. And it's actually trying to cure one of the problems which parents are facing with children, which is children getting addicted to mobiles and tablets. And there is no solution for that. And one of the solutions is when parents offer them something to color, that's possibly working as a therapy. And we are very proud of it.
You've heard of Mandala?
Yes, absolutely. We have a mandala art kit, which is actually a kit for even adults, you know.
Yes.
And we encourage all adults to also spend some time in coloring, because that is a time when you actually de-stress, and that's gives so much of benefit, which is far beyond just numbers for us, you know. And I think that's one of very exciting initiatives that we have done. And we don't try to be all over the media, but whatever we try to do, we try to fulfill our brand ethos and try to do a job which is earning the respect of parents and love of the children. And that's been always our initiative.
Amazing. Neha, any example of any branded content that you have done which, you know?
Sure. So one example that I could think of is one association with the cartoon character which I spoke about. One was Little Singham. Another one that we did just to create some excitement amongst kids was glitter stickers. So we did a research, we did a consumer research to understand what excites kids, what will persuade them to further, you know, go and purchase the product. And we realized that out of the many options given to them, glitter stickers was something that really excited them. They said, I'll stick it on my compass box, or I'll stick it on my laptop, or my books, etc. So we created a whole campaign around it, wherein we created a series of stickers, and we said that, you know, collect all 12 in different flavors, etc. And there was a communication attached to it, which communicated the whole campaign to consumers, and there was also then a video made out of it. So we said that after you've collected your stickers, create a video of the same and send it to us. And you know, the lucky winner gets a prize. So this was one small campaign that we tried creating just to excite kids.
Interesting. Rajeev, any special memory of a branded content project?
So recently, if you've seen Archie's, I think that was the transformation from the comic word to the real film. I was the part of that as a visual effects producer. So that is what I was the part. And that was the only content that I can recall.
Okay, interesting. Tanuja, I'm wondering, do you really associate with brands in that sense, or how do you position?
So we partner with artists. So we have a property called Bandit. It's an inter-school band competition which goes really at the grassroots level. And the selected ones come to Bombay, and there's this grand opportunity for them to work with artists. That becomes very aspiring. So you're, you know, sharing a stage with whether Tawfiq Ji, I mean, some very big names.
So do
in
you have
education.
someone who funds this, or it's Furtados who funds this?
It is Furtados, and we do partner, and now this time we are really looking at taking it even a notch higher. So we will be partnering with people. But what happens is the artist community that way is very giving as well.
Yes.
Because it's education.
Yes.
So when we reach out to some of the best people, we've never heard no. In fact, anyone who's visiting India also always says, I'm coming, do you want to do a workshop? So that way we are blessed. We can always have that, you know, platform for our artists, from our artists for our future artists.
Nice. Preeti, you were mentioning about a project you did with Google. Please share some
we did
insights.
a branded content project with Google. They have a property called Be Internet Awesome, which they run in multiple countries. In India, they partnered with us. So we created a series of 5 comics, and then those were animated as well. So animated little shows. which were all on internet safe behavior for children. So encouraging, secure passwords against fake news, cyberbullying, all of that. We've done a lot of work with, for example, the IISc, where we're talking of women scientists of India, or we've done work with the Ministry of Road Transport in association with Uber on road safety and transport. So a lot of very interesting.
And in all of this, it's your characters that
it's our characters, or it's our content created by us to promote somebody else's message, but of course it has to go through our own filters as well. But like we did the Ministry of Ayush, we did 3 books for them. We've done books for the Indian Navy on the maritime heritage of India. So these are done in collaboration with them. They could be paid projects as well. And yeah, very, very successful.
Interesting. Sanjeev, I asked you that question when we were sitting there that, today government also keeps talking about ki government ke naam pe paisa raise karo. So is that, is that becoming, a larger expectation, or government is funding most of what you do?
So government के साथ मेरा experience अलग है. मैं जो government देखता हूँ वो बिल्कुल गरीब नहीं दिखती. और people who I come across, the situation, for example, in Madhya Pradesh, I think the MP tourism team is also here, so I don't know. So in Madhya Pradesh, you won't believe 1,500 crore rupees comes in tribal department, and they just are able to spend 800 crores, and they are always figuring out, और क्या करे संजीव जी बताइए पैसा खर्च करना है.
Are you allowed to give all these numbers out?
So what I'm saying is the government in the branded content side, now with this media platform coming with, we have seen tourism department, other departments seeing these media platforms. So we have done campaign for election campaign recently in local Vidhan Sabha. Tourism is also promoting a lot of things. We also we have started experimenting with private brands also. One of the brands called Tiptail Studio, which I mentioned.
Yes.
They sponsored, they wanted to see how their content is perceived physically. So we are organized 100 screening across various Anganwadis and preschool. And it was a very nice social experiment because they were able to test their content at ground. And we never realized that the fun we have watching TV alone, for the child side, it is more social. Preschool level pe, when the content was being played for some character, like how we were in our young age, they were all making comment. One guy will make some kind, other will giggle. So it was a very nice social experiment for us that children really love content watching in a very, correct community base. Yeah, it's being perceived very well that.
Does anybody have any questions? Because we're almost short of time, and I had one last sign off from each one of them. Any questions, anyone? Okay, great. So before we sign off, like I said, I'd like each one of you to give your mission statement. What does each of you want to do in the larger legacy of what you are trying to build in the kids space? Starting with you, Soumitra.
Okay. So for my brand DOMS, it's very simple because our mission is very loud and clear on our products, packaging, everywhere in the promotion that we do, that we stick to the promise that every ambition needs preparation, and we will always promise that we will be an inspiring partner for every child's ambition, and in every initiative we do, whether it means creating great quality and exciting products for children, and in terms of all the initiatives that we do, we'll be responsible, we'll give them a lot of opportunity to fulfill their ambitions, and I think that's very, very clear for us. And in all the partnerships that we do, for example, the partnership with KidZania, where we are a very natural partner because they also try to do a very similar thing, and we partner all other brands, and in fact, I see a lot of collaboration opportunities to make a great space for children because they are the most important consumer. India is a country of young people, and the child consumer is most important. And the good time is that today the child consumer is very aware, very confident, and very empowered because of the parents' commitment towards children. And so it's a great time to be, working with children. And I think for every marketer, in whether directly connected with children product or not. I think it's very important to consider what's important for children in whatever they plan to do. So
Sure.
that's what our
Okay, so if I was to summarize, your mission statement is every ambition deserves preparation or needs preparation. Neha, your mission statement?
So I think for my current brand, that is brand Littles, which is into baby personal care products like this diapers, baby wipes, and baby shampoos, and etc. My mission statement is to build a brand, basically build trust and build love for the brand, which will assure the mother, especially a new mother, that the child is safe if she's using a Littles product and she can stay stress-free.
Yeah, you have major competition there. There's Pampers and there's so many other brands.
So it's going to be a journey for us.
Yeah. Rajeev, your mission statement?
So our goal would be, in a broader level, probably.
And please keep impact on kids as one
Yeah.
of the aspects of it.
So basically, I think there's a need of a complete dedicated OTT platform for our kids. So which is like a Netflix or an Amazon. So our goal will be to establish that, where the content is exclusive for kids. Kids are playing a pivotal role in generating that. And not just kids, but also there will be different kind of videos which are more towards learning, adaptability, the newer techniques, and that is what our mission would be, working towards it. Let's see.
Interesting. Your mission statement, Tanuja?
To bring the power of performing arts to all, you know, because there is this, we know that India is a land of performing arts. We want to enable and organize performing arts education to all.
Super. Preeti?
So for Amar Chitra Katha, the line has always been a route to your roots. That was a line coined by our founder, Mr. Anand Pai. So that holds true. And for Tinkle, it is where learning meets fun.
Okay, and personally for you, what's your mission statement?
To ensure that children of all generations, present as well as future, continue to read. Reading is the most important skill we can give them.
Yeah, so true. Sanjeev?
Yeah, for me it is to help every child connect and communicate with the world, tell their own story in their own style without being audited or judged. So that's the freedom if we can get in terms of expression, nothing like that.
Hats off, hats off. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the claps and appreciation can get a lot louder. Thank you so much for doing complete justice. I'll request all of you to wait. I'll request Soumini ma'am to please give away the token of appreciation to all our fellow panelists over here. Oh, you guys are coming from this side. Okay. I'll request Soumini ma'am to please give away the token of appreciation to all of you over here. We have to do a nice group photo with all of you together as well. So can I please request all of you to come forward and pose for a nice group photograph? We have many more goodies to be given. Mad over donuts, KidZania hampers, many more things. आपके दोनों हाथ आज कम पड़ने वाले हैं to take all the gifts. right, so we're done with the distribution part. We can do a nice group photograph with all of you together. And maybe let's divide a little. Let's not make it men and women, men versus women लग रहा है ऐसा थोड़ा बीच में एक साथ आ जाइए आप लोग please. Yeah, that's much better.